Good morning, everybody. Wow, we did good last night. We had over 1,700 views on the portrait stream, which is a nice number, I should add. But we do need to cover something Clownfish TV has been addressing. YouTube is more and more wanting to go for the big commercial networks. We're talking about things like Fox, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Los Angeles Times. Unfortunately, leaving small creators, including Linus Media Group, with less views, as they want to focus on the big ones. So there's been questions about where's YouTube going. Well, let's put it this way. If that's true, then it's leaving the U out of YouTube, which is sad. Really. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Clownfish TV and me are wrong, but if not, well, we'll do the best we can. That's all we can do. You know. I have a meeting online at 12 noon. So we're going to be ending the show about 11:45. So I can get to that meeting online. So it's not because Ray's quitting or anything like that. It's just we have an appointment online at 12 noon. And I really need to get to this because this is another way I make revenue for my channel, as doing surveys and things for YouTube and Google. So that's also how we make some additional funding, because I still have to pay the rest of the bill for Dr. Jameson's Scotio of $67. And so that direct payment from YouTube is going to help a lot, so I can go ahead and cut him a check and get that out of my hair. And that's something we need to do. Also, again, like we did last week, we're going on Saturday night. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the Discord panel link for that night show in along with the announcements. But I'm going to make it a little more clear that it is the panel link to join us in discussion so that people know more precisely what it is. Right now, today, we are not streaming on Twitch or Rumble. It's just me and you here. So, no reason why not to. I just decided that it might be better to occasionally slip in just a YouTube-only stream, because this is the one that pays my dental bills. And that's the reason why we do what we do. I know that the Nightbot's message is really kind of weird, placing that message on when we're not playing the game. I will take care of that later. I'll switch that off. So let's get the panel open and get the chat on the screen for the panelists. Turn on the closed captions for me so I can hear them. And there we go. It's GQU. Hey, Betty. Welcome to the show. Good morning to you. Panel link's open if you want to come up. I gave you the link. Yeah. So, Golden Girl, how are you doing today? How are you doing? Good morning, Krista, to you too. So, one of the things is that we could really appreciate if you guys could do is to let others know on my channel. Let's share the good vibes out. The morning show is a little bit less chaotic than the Saturday night show, so it's a little easier to follow. Because some people prefer that format, and some prefer the other format. Parasol, good morning to you. Good morning to Parasolo. Hammer Nails, how are you doing? I did see you earlier. Let's give Betty some heads up, or thank you for being a new joiner. I do appreciate you being part of the group. Now she's a news hound like me, so she likes to get into the meat and potatoes. So I'm gonna give her mod access because just everybody else has got it, and I figure that she can help me out here. Keep an eye on things before things get too crazy, especially during the portrait panels where I just can't keep up with everybody. Yeah, my Discord's pretty cool. It's like the fifth one. The first one was a train wreck. The second one was a train wreck. The fourth one was hacked. The fifth one is the one we got now. And so showed you the violin playing yesterday, but I have to flip the bridge around. Sounds like the song if I turn the world around the other way. Maybe we can start over today. It's actually my variation of it. My case would be like, turn the bridge around the other way. Perhaps then we will play better today. Hitting the G hurts my arm as it reach up to the sky just to hit the lowest note. So turn the bridge around the other way. That's kind of cute, actually. Yeah, I accidentally put it on backwards. That's what happened. And then, so you see me reach to the sky. Just to do the G fourth octave. I was like, yeah. Hopefully it won't snap any strings in the process. So I've gotten better at it. Well, Hammer Nails, the reason why we bought the lowest cost violin is just in case that does happen. I got the bridge on backwards. That was my fault. So it wasn't the violin manufacturer's fault. So, like I see, I got the instructions on here on the table somewhere. I'll just review them. But the bridge. Comedy Flu's birthday this weekend. He's getting old. We all are getting old, but happy birthday to him anyway. We're all getting older. I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'm coming. Yeah. Just stay down there on Earth for a little longer. We're not ready for you up here yet, Sanford. Okay. Anyway, the dental consultation was not worth $187. Let me just tell you that. It really isn't. I mean, what I pay to do? Open your mouth. Okay. Alright, see the spot? I see the other spot. Okay, fine. $187 on checkout. What? It's got here. Yeah, we're all getting older. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones, too, actually. I mean, now as I get older, I got to understand it a little bit better than I did as a kid. But, yeah, Sanford and Son and Chico and the Man. Chico and the Man was pretty fun. Freddie Prinze, yeah. The old guy at the auto shop, right? The old gruff guy. I forgot what his name was, but anyway, played by Albertson. The question, how old will Comedy Flu actually be? I'm 57, so 10 years older than, 10 years younger than me. I'm going to be 58 pretty soon. Yeah, it's because your birthday's coming up. Yeah. $57-year-old YouTuber, bad eyesight, bad hearing, bad teeth. Still trying to do a show. You know, I guess you could say that says a lot about my character. I never quit yet. But he will be 47. I will be 58. Yeah. Michelle will be 58. Not Comedy Flu. So, that's the reality. Yeah. The world has sure changed a lot in my lifetime. Born on September 13th, 1968, and guess what? I have seen a lot in my life, even by 10 years old. I saw the death of disco. I saw 8-track tapes. I saw walls of speakers at audiophile houses using lots of little speakers to make big room sound. I saw color TV when it became more mainstream, available in most homes. I saw the beginning of the VCR. I saw touch-tone telephones starting to show in more and more homes. I saw the breakup of AT&T. I see the reunification of AT&T. I saw the sell-off of AT&T Wireless to Singular. Then I saw, and later on, Singular was bought out by AT&T. I saw the creation of the first of the home computers that you could buy at the store. I went through the computer revolution. I saw the space shuttle. The first one, I believe it was, I forgot which one it was now. Atlantis take off from Cape Canaveral on TV. The very first flight of the space shuttle. I experienced the life of government cheese. The government cheese program. Oh, Michelle's mother used to get that. Yes. So I have a long history of things I have seen. I said the early video game consoles that have the games built into them, such as table tennis and Pong. And then I saw things that go away that I wish stayed. Like analog television. People don't really think about it, but analog television was actually a major thing when you think about it. Okay, so the picture wasn't always stellar, but growing up with analog TV, in 2005, it was like a comfortable, nightgown. You just put it on and there it is. Plop your fat ass in front of it on your big 25-inch console CRT, watching TV shows. You turn the rotor box the right way to get the right local channel, and you get your TV for free. Thank you very much. I actually did try to brush it before we started the show this morning. That's why I was a little late. The funny thing about the 70s, we were playing with lawn darts. I mentioned that a lot. My family had both kinds. They had the one with the sharp pointy tips and the ones that were the dull tips, but still heavy as heck. And you basically drop through one of those things, the wind might take it, and if you're unfortunate, hit a loved one, which was scary. Normally I just play with me and my sister would play with the croquet set instead. I felt more safer. Yep, so did I. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, we did see that. And Joe Rivera was just as disappointed as everybody else was. It was just an empty room. Yeah, the darts were fine, but the thing was there had to be, safety had to be kept in mind. Remember, in the 1970s, kids didn't have this wrap it all up in bubble wrap mentality that today's kids have. I think if Generation Z was playing around with lawn darts, now that they're older, they might be a little more aware of the safety, but Generation Alpha would use them as projectile weapons. Oh, God, yes. Stop. Keep them away from Generation Alpha, people. If you got a set, keep them out of Generation Alpha's reach. I used to play baseball with my brother and my cousins. We used to all live together in the same part of town. The whole family did. We used to climb trees, used to have tree forts. We even had a pond, and my brother and my cousin would go fishing at right on our property. Oh, so it was in the middle of the sticks, but you know what? When you're living out in the middle of sticks, you still find your one ways to entertain yourselves. Pretty much just like John Denver sings at Rocky Mountain High. You're out there in the country, you're playing around with, things that could literally kill you if you're careless, but you knew about the dangers of the object and the concerns and risks, and you did your best to be respectful of the tools. Well, there was a dark period, but fortunately enough, my father turned that around. My father had a bad drinking problem. And then in 1977, 78, he finally took his last beer and said, I've had it. I'm not drinking this shit anymore. Just like Bradley. And that's why I'm so proud of Bradley for his effort. But that means at that point on, my father had to get to know us kids. Because of all the stresses he was going through trying to run his own little floor-laying company, Northland Flooring. He didn't really see much of us. He was just so busy. But I'm so thankful that my father made that decision to finally quit drinking. It gave us a chance to begin to know each other as more than just occupants in a household. So, yeah, my childhood for the most part was pretty good. That's the only problem when you get older. You tend to reminisce about the past. I don't think it's just because as your kid you don't have to worry about the bills and all the related expenses and BS about bills, but you basically just had fun watching Saturday morning cartoons, eating cereal, and going to school Monday through Friday and meeting the friends at recess and hanging out and doing things. That's what I remember. And I was a kid out there singing at the clouds, realizing I could manipulate the weather to some extent. Even back then, I wasn't that good at it, but I could still manipulate the weather. How do you think I started out as a North American snow queen? Do you think it was something I just grabbed out of a cereal box? No. It took a lot of practice. It's like the violin is taking a lot of practice. Part of Bonza, how you doing? Recess at school was fun for me too because I love school too. I love the learning part of it. But when I would be out at recess, that's when I would be outside, mostly just walking around, sometimes riding the swings or the seesaw. But basically, would just walk around, just watching the other kids play. It's a Virgo thing. It's observing everybody else. It's a classy instrument, but it's also very finicky. That's the part of it that's kind of, makes me kind of question my choice. That's why the one that we bought was pretty much an entry level violin for about maybe under $100. So that way, if it doesn't work out too well, it was given as a gift by Sherry Jackson. At least it wouldn't be a major loss, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to give it a good try, because I am. And after the 11 or 12 noon meeting, I'm going to have a few hours between that and maybe the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock gaming stream to practice a bit. And also, I have a therapist appointment online to BetterHelp at 6 o'clock to 6:45. Yeah, but you know what? That's true, Grace. We really did have to show effort. But you know what? I still love school because learning is fundamentally essential. That's what life means. Learning is fundamentally essential. And that's quite different than dead. Did not advance developmentally. Did not advance educationally developmentally, which means if you think about what happens for some people, they're emotionally are brain dead. They're just zombies. They're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. Screw that idea. I don't want to do that. But me, it's like, well, I'm going to try it. If I like it, great. If I don't, no. That's fine too. Um, so I actually had pretty good grades in elementary school and high school. But college was a challenge. I mean, I didn't have the highest GPA in the world in high school, but I did okay. I didn't have to take any school over. Creature double feature in Channel 56. What was it, a horror movie series? It sounds like a horror movie series. Yeah. You guys had some interesting channels back then. Independent TV channels were more of a thing. Now everything is almost commercial. When I say commercial, I mean bought up by big conglomerates. Good morning, Don. How you doing today? Good morning, Don. Good morning, Chris, too. By the way, yeah. I got to go. Enjoy your day, everyone. Thanks for this, Mod Michelle. Not a problem, Betty. As I said, I can appreciate your news knowledge and interest in the news to help us get more interesting news stories into our Discord. I appreciate that. If you can help me out with that. I don't usually have that problem. I've done things on the chalkboard. That's actually kind of when I learned how to do my YouTube stuff. Think about it. So, would you come up here and explain this meaning of this Venn diagram, please? Yeah, sure. Okay, you come up and you're explaining what it means when things are in the Venn diagram in the places where they intersect, the letters that intersect in the Venn diagrams. Yeah, that's easy. Or could you help me solve this mathematical problem? I was doing that in high school. Math wasn't really my forte, other than basic business arithmetic. But they played a lot of Godzilla. Oh, the Japanese ones with the English overdubs. Yeah, those are kind of cool. Yeah, those are cool. Back when independent TV was really independent TV. And whatever channels you got was just a matter of geography and just a little bit of luck. Just like they sing about in My Fair Lady. With a little bit of luck, you might pick a TV station far away from home. Let's try to put the hell that was on. Some people like to watch your TV. Some like to watch shows far away. With a little bit of luck, you might get lucky, turn your rotor that way. With a little bit of luck, you'll turn it right that way. It might be kind of snowy, but you didn't give a damn anyway. As long as you could see the picture, and the sun was A-okay. Oh. Right, Jockey Pants, bad choice. Blink. Oops, sorry. Yeah. I got a sound effect for that somewhere. Yeah, I think you do. It's up here. Oh, sorry, teacher. It's a boy thing. But that's the thing I miss, because everything back then was a fun challenge. There was, we were always trying to, for me, in the techno, with the low income, just with my allowance, trying to do things like, can I just get that additional TV channel just a wee bit out of our area? Maybe if I can catch the ionospheric skip just right. And then we would get these channels, and sometimes it would become because the sporadic skip would come in. And then you're then going, what channel is channel 17? And you're trying to rack your brains out waiting for a commercial to come on to tell you where is the commercial from, That's what we used to do. That was fun. Don't get me started with telephone, baby. Reach out and touch someone. Oh my God, as a kid, I used to play around my mom's phone so much. Constantly dialing phone numbers on it. Not even necessarily knowing who I was calling, just rotary dialing my way around the exchange, listening for who answered or what tones I got, or yeah. So, it's just an interesting thing that we forget. And something that Generation Alpha and Generation Z will never understand. Because they have always had cable. I didn't get cable until 1983. And trust me, when you grew up without cable, it's like this says, just a little bit of luck. You're lucky enough sometimes if you got the TV channel you wanted to watch, when the TV show on it that you wanted to see. Well, at least you were put in a room with a teacher that kind of got you excited. And not necessarily with the violin, but I'll leave that alone. But for me, the violin is just interesting. I actually do have fun with it. Even if it doesn't sound very good right now. Remember last night I was working on my bowing technique. I wasn't worried about keeping in a tune. I did tune it initially earlier that day, but it seems like my tuning drifts off, which frustrates me so much. But I've gotten better at getting it back in tune because it's not too far out. But, right, long distance you dial 1, and then if it's still in the same area code, you just skip the area code. Right now, you gotta dial all 10 digits. Even if it's just the phone number for your friend next door. Good morning, David S. How you doing today? Good morning. Good morning. I made my coffee warm this morning. Kind of chilly outside right now. So I have to leave here about 11:45 of the show. Get ready for an online Google conference at 12 noon, and then after the Google conference, which makes me like $75, I want to go ahead and do some more violin playing, practicing. Yeah, well, we didn't get Touchstone in Winston until about 1997. Then we got, actually, might be a little bit wrong on the years, but not too much, because a lot of families didn't upgrade right away. I think my mom finally upgraded to Touchstone about 1995. Yep, I had a couple of those. I had the 2-tape and I had the single tape, micro cassette ones. I like the full size 2 cassette because they're good. You had an outgoing message, and then you had an incoming message tape, and you could play the incoming message tape on your regular cassette recorder. And remember the old cable boxes that used to have just a big click tuning knob on the top? And then I had friends that had ones that had push buttons on them. I didn't have push buttons on mine, but those were kind of cool. Press that button down. Oh, type correct is crazy, yeah. Yeah, long distance was... But the way things are going now, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually America is going to start getting a second country code. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how the longest international codes are assigned. I'll just leave it at, you usually think of one for America, because we're number one, right? One of the next code would be something like, I don't know, 88 or something, depending on what other international area codes are not used. Early internet. Oh, boy. Oh, I remember early internet, some Windows 95 days. Jeez. And Windows 3.1 using Trumpet WinSock for the TCP IP stack. I'm not going to get too technical for this, but I'll just keep it simple. Internet back then was primitive. Yeah. Well, the only fishing I actually successfully did was fishing wires through walls. That's about the only kind of fishing I ever really did that worked out for anything. The panel is open, guys. For those you want to come up, it's GQU. GQU. So GQU is the panel link. And so what's going on with YouTube is, like Clownfish TV said, is YouTube, and it's been doing it for a while, wants to change things around and throw the content creators that gave it its life under the bus, because they want to become another cable channel, another cable network. And the problem is that if they've been watching what's been going on with all the other cable networks that have closed their doors, they're kind of joining the losing team. Oh, I was on Delphi, and I was on CompuServe. I like Delphi a little bit better, but yeah, there was some moderation, but it was not like today. It was much more flexible. Yeah, I didn't like the single cassette ones too much, because if you happen to give me a person that gets a lot of messages, right? Your outgoing message was on the beginning of the tape, so the machine would rewind, right? And so let's just say I said, "Hi, this is Michelle Marie. I'm sorry, I'm not here. Please leave a message." And let's say there was like 30 messages between you and the next available time slot. And all of a sudden you hear the thing play a tone, and it says fast forward through to where the blank space in the tape is, and then you hear beep. By that time you're like, oh shit, what was I talking about? I don't remember what the message is. You had too many long beeps between. Yeah, I was on MySpace. I still am on MySpace. MySpace still does exist. It was bought by Facebook. Yeah, so I'm still on MySpace. In fact, Delphi Internet Services was my first commercial site. I paid a monthly fee for, even out of my allowance. I would mail in a money order every month for the payment. I also was on CompuServe. The thing is that I had to pay the connection protocol through ConNet, which just to get to the TimeNet portal in the pad, and then once I get to the TimeNet, so I would call in the local phone number for ConNet, and I hit enter a few times, and I get a prompt. And I believe in the end they did get Delphi in there. It was like .delp, hit enter, and then it connects you straight to Delphi. Before that, you had to go through TimeNet. So then once you're at the prompt, you type in .t, hit enter, then you get the name of the service. What do I say? Delphi, DELPHI, hit enter, and then immediately at that point, the meter is running. Literally, for two reasons. Number one, I had to pay the TimeNet connection charges, and I had to pay for the minutes used on Delphi. So I'd be getting in and out pretty quick. I wouldn't be faffing around very much, because every minute of faffing meant one less, less 20 cents going out of my pocket. Yeah, well, that's kind of cool. I mean, I thought cable TV was pretty cool too as a kid. But when you really think about what cable TV is, it's really not all that exciting, at least. But it was exciting for us, because we always wondered what the TV set had a TV tuner, and it goes from 2 to 13 on VHF and 14 to 83 on UHF, right? And you always wondered what you could shove on channels 2 to 13, But then at the same time, you're probably asking yourself, why weren't they just using UHF for the channels above 14? Well, of course, we learned out later on that UHF was harder to send through coax, and so they were using another VHF band. Yep. The transportable cameras, large batteries, cathode ray dude showed one of those, along with the viewfinder, which could be still a miniature CRT tube, which was the case in many cases, or if it was a really cheap one, it would be just an optical viewfinder. And the really cheap ones only did monochrome. They didn't do color. So, and they would use a single Vidicon pickup tube. Oh, thank you. I remember also, speaking of the news, what President Ronald Reagan was trying to do in 1981 with Glasnost, working with Mikhail Gorbachev, trying to finally normalized relations between Russia and America, and convincing in 1988 Russia to tear down that wall. I think in some ways we really wish we could do the same thing again. Instead of hearing Trump say, we're going to build a wall a little higher. Well, the problem is that there's a different problem then. You know what's even more ridiculous? The fact that your battery didn't run very long, because those were lead acid battery packs. They're 12-volt ones, and they were heavy as could be. Those lead acid battery packs could be used as weapons because they were just so heavy. The whole VCR itself was heavy. It wasn't until the development of VHC and High 8 that we started to see camcorders shrinking enough that they were smaller, lighter, and could be integrated into the camera themselves. Thus, the camcorder combination. There was a fail. Yeah, I don't really remember much about DARE. I do remember the initials. And Robert Bush saying say no to drugs. Well, that kind of made sense to me. The stupid commercial said with the guy frying an egg, he said, this is your brain and drugs. Get the message? Yeah, I got the message. Basically, my brain's an omelet, and you know it. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Those two set deals were definitely not fun. But it was something that we were blessed to be part of that technology era. You know, we're at the crossroads from the 1960s and 50s to what we know today. We were at that stage where everything was advancing. Yeah. By the way, Governor Abbott is going to be signing the THC legislation into law, which is going to allow the sale of THC in Texas. So that's a big step for Texas. That's going to be a major step in the right way to finally get full legalization in. So, 1943, they legalized marijuana, labeled as a Schedule 1, but then over almost 100 years later, they finally realized that marijuana wasn't necessarily as bad as they said it was. Remember the movie Reefer Madness? The stupidity of that movie. If you're using it responsibly, it's not bad. But again, the magic word is responsibility. Well, yes, but at least he's not so hardcore that he's not willing to at least look in the middle in this case. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they are. I know when Connecticut was legalized, there was a lot of excitement about that. I mean, unless you were the drug dealers, the illegal drug dealers, then all of a sudden they're saying, oh, lost another to legislation. Uh, yeah, but at least because it's legal, guess what? We can make sure it's pure and honest to God what's supposed to be in it. That's the point. So, well, I usually take an edible on Saturday night show to help me deal with the craziness that ensues. I'm almost out of the 10 milligram gummies. I got 25 milligrams next. And the reason I don't take those too much on the show is because it takes me longer to recover from a 25. But I'll take them because somebody bought them for me, so I'll just use them. I mean, the ginger mangoes were horrific. I mean, they tasted nasty. Well, that might change soon. That's Trump is working on that, on changing the reclassification from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And that should be interesting because that means, well, what about the states? How do the states feel? Well, that's going to be interesting because of the way the FDA and the sees it. They don't see any medical value in it, so you can't buy it in a local pharmacy. It's not funny. FDA, which regulates pharmacies, we're allowing pharmacies to sell cigarettes. There's no medical value in a cigarette unless you want to get sick. Okay? But that's the funny thing. You could buy cigarettes in most pharmacies, and no one would even bat an eye. Yeah, well, they do make them smaller than that. The 10 milligrams is usually good enough for me, but 25, let's just put it this way. I'd probably be okay, but that's still pretty high. Yeah. No. Unfortunately, a lot of people were misled by the tobacco industry back in the early years until the Surgeon General pointed out that tobacco is really bad for you. Some doctors were being told to get the patients smoking cigarettes, saying it has beneficial value. If it had beneficial value, don't you think people would have naturally, instinctually gone for the tobacco plant? Without having to be told it's good for you. If the people really gave a shit, they'd advise not to do street drugs. In my humble opinion, they're killers. Yes, again, like I said, with the legalization of Mary Jane in many states, the so-called gateway drug is now available in a dispensary, guaranteed safer quality product. Your local drug trafficking person isn't going to be making money on Mary Jane sales anymore. So the quality's there and the safety's there, which means for them, there's no revenue in it. there's nothing to make money on except the hard stuff like crack, cocaine, meth, PCP, LSD, and other things like that. Yeah, that's just. I think you could say that's also your brain on social media too. This is your brain. This is your brain in Facebook. Got any questions? It's just example of how we've replaced one thing with another thing. Around here, the prices have dropped so much. The dispensary prices have become about the same as street value. Yeah. So, I mean, right now we only have 14 viewers right now. Only 7 likes. Come on, guys. By putting in the best we can. Yeah, put some likes in the jar, guys. Share out the videos. Let's get this channel up there. Let's grow this channel. This is one of the better little channels on YouTube. Let's get this channel where people can at least see it. You can't hype it up right now because it's not a video. But if you want to later on today, please hype it. Just hype it. It probably will be available for hyping tomorrow. Or hype yesterday's streams. Let's get the hypes out there. Oh yeah. Right now, Connecticut is starting to get more openings at dispensaries. I think my area has 2. And where Noodles is, he has access to dispensaries in New York and New Jersey. So he's got lots of choices. Competition can be a good thing. Oh, yeah. By the way, speaking of that, competition, Starlink just bought out the EchoStar satellites for mobile communications for $17 billion, which means it looks like Starlink may become America's 4th cell phone network, between having cell towers and having space cell towers. So that's pretty interesting because you see, EchoStar, as you know, went bankrupt. And so a lot of the assets are up for sale. That's interesting. I bought an ounce yesterday, paid $150 with taxes. Not much different than if I bought it from someone on street. Except 1, you're guaranteed quality. Number 2, you can easily get the stuff without having to worry about, or even nowadays you don't have to worry about it either, because the fact is it's legal. So even if you did exchange money for a bag, no one's going to sit there and question it as much, you know. Um, well, that's not bad though. I mean, an ounce. That's about the size of your can of tobacco. Yeah. I like the edible. I like the chocolates. The chocolates are my favorites. The gummies, I don't know. The gummies are okay too, but they're. Well, as I said, tobacco has never been really good for you anyway. But at least from a dispensary where they can grow the stuff in the proper and it's inspected by the state to make sure it meets requirements, that's guaranteed to be more safe and pure. Well, that might be true, but then again, you know, where's the guy getting it from? Think about that. He's probably buying it from his own dispensary, and then he's just selling it to you, right? Which is probably what they're doing now. No need to grow it in some backwoods growing shop. That's what they claim about tobacco. The FDA is gonna lie about it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not really heavily into the getting high thing. But sometimes it helps, especially if my anxiety's climbing up out of my stomach, and if I'm acid reflux, where all of a sudden you hear you go, ugh. Yeah, that's really when I get really stressed. You'll hear that. Sometimes you'll see that my acid reflux kicks in like really bad. Lately I haven't really had any bad experiences like that, but if you find a supplier that's is making an effort to put the best quality in this and make sure that the ingredients are safe for human consumption, that's fine. They too. They do. Yes. Yes. You can do it in Connecticut too. Yes, you can have like 2 or 3 Mary Jane plants. I think it's 2, but um oh, that's cool. That simplifies things for some people. Yeah, it's I mean sometimes what happens on YouTube can really push me so far that I just have to basically just drop out of YouTube. And for a while, I take 2 Rolaids and just quietly sit there. My stomach is gurgling like an angry person. And then acid is starting to creep up my esophagus. And it's like, oh, please, calm down, guts. I mean, try to take 2 Rolaids and I'll just sit there. That's why I always have a container of Rolaids on my desk. And then finally my stomach will kind of behave, and then I can usually just kind of try to get on with my day. Well, I don't necessarily have a problem with the 21 age. You got to be 21 to drink alcohol. And let's be honest, is it really any different? 21 age is legal consent. You don't need to be 18. I mean, you're still kind of developing, depending if you're a man or a woman, but still, 21 is a good compromise. Yeah. So I got these edibles, as I mentioned here, and I gotta reorganize my bags again. These are the 25 milligrams. These things are insane. You take these guys and you're gonna be sitting on the floor. The ones that I've been using for the night shows, they're in here somewhere. There's like one left. Is mango flavored one, which is really weird. I'm like, it's almost like description of that Love Potion number 9 song. I just had to swallow it fast because there wasn't anything to chew, because that mango cinnamon just is so strong that I just think it's like yuck. So I just kind of I'll have to try eating one of the 25s during the next silver moon. During the next Discord panel. A lot of people did. Yeah, that's true. And that's another nice thing, too, is theoretically speaking, is you don't have to grow all your plants inside. Because you can legally grow them outside. As long as you're in your garden and that. But then you find wild Mary Jane growing, too. If that's your thing, you see wild Mary Jane, you can just snip the buds and call them yours. Don't take it all home, though, because that's how the plant will procreate. So you want to leave some buds on the plant so they can still spread and germinate and create another plant. Well, I understand why. Because, you have to show ID and show that you're legal age, and depending on the way the dispensary's set up, you will go ahead and give your order to the dispensary worker, and then they go in the back room and they get your stuff for you. That's what we did in New Jersey. That's what we did in all the dispensaries I went to, including Connecticut. I think Connecticut was the worst. Because the fact of the matter was, the one dispensary that's up the street on Route 8 from my house is originally was a medical dispensary, and then they became legalized recreational Mary Jane dispensary. And because of the setup was originally for medical, they have to keep it separate from the other dispensary products. For the medical customers, had to go in through one door. The recreational marijuana users had to go through another door. And I'll be honest, I'm like, what's the point? We're buying the same product. For the most part. Well, I said for the most part because the real reason is that the medical um, dispensary people can buy a few more strains than the non-medical could. If that makes any sense. Yeah. Right. I don't think they should be trying to force the drinking and smoking regulation, especially if it's something that's growing wild. You know, if something that's growing wild, like a plant like tobacco and Mary Jane, I think it should be. If you see the stuff, i.e., tobacco or Mary Jane, growing wildly, you should be allowed to pluck it and do what you got to do to process it to make it to something you want. Right, it's supposed to work for us, but unfortunately, over the decades, it's changed. In a truly free society, one has the right to make wrong decisions. However, you are solely responsible for your own wrong decisions. Absolutely, I understand that. I have no problem with that. Of course, it helps a lot if, when you're making those wrong decisions, that you are aware of what the results are going to be. You know, something that is important too is purity. When I say purity, I'm not talking really anything hard about that. Oh yeah, I still got these cards. I actually lost some of my tarot cards. I don't know where they all went, but I haven't done any tarot readings lately. Sorry, I just haven't. But I gotta sort through this shit. I gotta sort through this drawer again. Things are all over the place in there. I read nicotine. It was walking in smoke shop. All look like a grilling crayon shop or. Yeah, but if they're removing flavoring from tobacco, soon going into a nicotine shop is going to be like, you only got a couple of brands of cigarettes and they're all the same flavor. Oh, you want pipe tobacco? Oh, gee, they're all the same flavor. Bleh. You want chewing tobacco? Gee, they're all the same flavor. Bleh. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, like I said, it's just it's just an example of what I called original purpose of government was to protect the people from other people. For example, like the War Department, which is what the Department of Defense is now called. It's designed specifically to protect America from other countries that have their own thoughts. And maybe Donald Trump should rename the Department of Defense to the Department of Offense. Offense. We are going to be offensive now. We are called the Department of War. Oh, great. That's the whole idea. Also, the government is supposed to be keeping an eye on trade deals, trade regulations. The problem is that our government's gotten to be too BSy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's a mess. It's just weird the way it is. But you know what's even more sad, though, is the fact is that one of the most powerful things that YouTube could do is to inform the people of reality of what's going on. But people on YouTube, in many cases, don't want to hear the truth. Yeah, exactly. Necessary for things like keeping the country safe, especially in the early years. When so setting is all the homeless in our country and welcome so many from other countries and get hooked. The problem is we never dealt with our own homeless in a way that made sense. And then we're saying to everybody else, send us your unwashed masses. Well, wait a minute. What about our own existing unwashed masses? You're taking on more people when you haven't even dealt with the existing ones you already have. That's not being responsible. That's being stupid. Well, anyway, in about 30 minutes from now, we're going to be getting ready to go to another interview. But, so it's not like I want to rage quit or anything, because I'm not rage quitting. It's funny that no one came up on the panel this morning, but that's okay, I guess. I mean, it doesn't... So what's going on for tonight? Well, we're thinking about playing some Turtle Wow tonight on YouTube, so you guys can see that. Me and the Turtle Wow group were talking about that. I don't mind playing Turtle Wow on YouTube. It did seem to help with the viewership. Last night did very good at 1,700 views. But there were views. We were up to 888 subs. Then we went down to 10,883. 5 people joined and then 5 people left. And it's kind of stupid when people do that game. No, it's the same time. 9 a.m. your time. Central time. Which is 10 a.m. my time. We didn't change the time of the shows. It's at the same time. We thought about changing the time. But so many people are not actually subscribed that they wouldn't know if we had a show at a later time in the day. And that means they would come in and there were like, there'd be like 5-6 people. And like if I have to have a show at 3 o'clock, it's really kind of sad. But that's why we kept it at 10 in the morning show. Because that seems to work out pretty good, and this is the show that has most of the viewers. Yeah. So I've been catching up on with Sims 4, getting all the bugs out of it so I can play it again. I had to remove 400 or 4,000 mods and custom content from it, really. Right, so that means that when we say daylight savings in the United States, when we go back an hour, it'll still be at 10 a.m. It's not going to be switching to 9 a.m. So for you, it'll still be 9 a.m. as a daylight savings time. Wish they get rid of that daylight savings time thing because it's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Sims 4, I haven't played Sims 4. I just never, I never really got into Sims 4. It seems like in some ways Sims 4 was a downgrade from Sims 3. I really do feel it was a downgrade. So, you know, why couldn't they do, well, if they can do what they were doing in Sims 3, with a maximum memory available for the computer processors at a time of 2 gigabytes under Windows 95, why can't we do the same thing with Sims 4 when you get computers now that have easily 32 megabytes of RAM in the low end and up to several gigabytes of RAM in the high end? Why is it that Sims 4 still feels like it is so much of a downgrade? Good morning, Tiff. How you doing today? I'll be leaving here about 11:45 because I have a meeting at another place online. So, yep. That's actually started happening around a little bit before the portal yesterday. The 9-9 portal. So you may already feel it today. This is pretty much in the full swing. The changes. Good morning, Brain Dead. How you doing today? I didn't see you before, so. Everyone apparently seems to be. Noodles isn't even here today. But you'll notice I no longer post a link of Noodles' channel on Discord. They just don't bother. Because he knows when I'm live, so. Yeah, nice blue sky outside above my head. As I'll show you. Nice blue sky. Sun is shining. It's a little chilly in here right now, but it's not bad. You know. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I like Sims 3 because it seems to make me Sims are a little more smart. I noticed that because um they don't seem to be as stupid. Um Good morning, Bradley. How you doing? Well, I think we covered some pretty interesting things this morning, but like I said, I gotta get ready to leave here about 11:45 online and switch over to an online meeting with Google. So that's gonna be because I do their surveys and research projects. So also Sims 3 seems to be you can kind of you have the wild card palette. You can create really custom colors, change things completely color wise. Something that Sims 4 just added. Some more of the palette feature. Doing good, driving off all over the DMV. Oh, okay. Don says, Michelle, we still need like. Is that what it means? Like with the thumbs up, but the finger like this. Is that what it means? Means like, or it means hello or something. I don't know. But we still need people to share out the content too. This channel could go so far. Really? I mean, talk on the phone. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I will. I certainly should have time to be able to call you after my meeting with Google this afternoon. Before my therapist appointment at 6. Then somehow I'm supposed to squeeze in violin practice between. Gonna have to get all that up. Well, given the nature of Sims 3 and the environment it was in, you gotta remember that there was limitations that Sims 3 had to deal with, which was on computer hardware. Oh, okay. I see. I got it. Um, I mean, you're dealing with a computer with 32-bit. You know, I'm probably running it. Actually, probably was more like a six. Yeah, I think it was a 32-bit program, not a 16-bit, but 32-bit program with maximum of 2 gigabytes of RAM, running Windows 95, trying to cram in the all-encompassing environment. People were loading off slow hard drives. So something had to go. Something had to give. You know, graphics resolution wasn't that great back then either. You're lucky if you enough to do 1024 by 768. So keep that in mind because that's important. You know, there were limitations in the hardware that made Sims 3 play the way it did. Yeah. never tried Sims 2, or Sims 1 for that matter. But it don't mean that I won't one day try it, because one day I will. I'm sure I will get a chance to try it. So Sims 3 was the version I kind of liked, because my Sims are a little more intelligent. Plus, you had less of those rabbit holes in Sims 3. But at least you could travel by your little car from place to place. You weren't limited to just popping in from one place to another. You had cars. Why did Sims 4 take away the cars? Yeah, okay, that sounds like me with the designing part. I like designing the houses too. And my latest change in Sims 3 is my house has started out with a mobile home, and then we got into a subterranean area in the game. So, like, to make the house bigger, we put and one thing is I made one mistake is that my characters, Lemmy and Michelle, were supposed to be married to each other. They ended up I made a typo and turned them into sisters, which kind of sucks because they can't get married. But Lemmy kind of jokingly reminds me it's kind of like it is in real life with us. And I was like, oh, man, they can't even sleep with each other, though. We sleep with each other. They can't. Right? So I had to build a separate bedroom for Michelle because she had no place to sleep because Libby was taking the bed in the living bedroom. She got stuck sleeping on the couch. Oh, poor Michelle. Yeah. Well, guys, if you want to make a donation, please don't be afraid to. You can donate through a variety of means. If you can give super thanks, super stickers. You can donate through PayPal. You can donate through all these different links here. I'm sorry I didn't post this up earlier. But we really need the donations because that dental consultation costed me a lot. And like I said yesterday, the money that we get from YouTube is paying for a lot of our bills. And it's not just anymore for fun stuff. Now it's even paying for part of my rent. And but I'm trying to keep things friendly and happy. But, I just need to remind you guys that this is not just for shit and giggles. This is also, I pay my bills. Yeah, the CashApp app is right there. Just go to your phone, download, and you can see my CashApp. I also have PayPal, and I don't have Venmo yet, or anything like that. But well, anyways, I know it's 11:32. I know I said I have to be out here by 11:45. So so let me just kind of wrap it up and say this. We had a great show last night. I was amazed. A lot of people came. I didn't get a lot of subs. The individual that we were going to keep as a mod, she made a mistake. Unfortunately, we demodded her. They're going to remod her again. But normally, standard operating procedure is when you want to get a mod, you have to stick around for a little bit. And I don't know if she's still here or not. Yeah. It still might work, yep. This is a job that helps pay the bills. Because everything keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up. And then, of course, you get more and more subscription costs for big debt. For example, right now, I just got reminded that October 11th is when Discord's going to slap my credit card another $99 for the year for Nitro. And, right, I understand that. Well, if you get a chance, go back and watch it again. It was pretty interesting. So, let's get the blessings out. May all of you have a happy and safe day. Go out there and use this time to get things done. Enjoy the sun. Enjoy the day, even if it is a little chilly in the area. We love you, and we'd love to see you here tomorrow, too. Sounds good. Also, don't forget that me and Michelle don't only do this because it's how we pay our bills. We do this because we also like being with you guys. So keep us in your prayers. Please help the channel grow. Don't forget to like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And we want you to be happy and help us get to be bigger and more successful. The service is done. Go in peace, kind, love, and happiness. And don't forget to party on, dude. And we'll see you all later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.
MicheleMarieDalene, I will always be there for you. Michelle, never stop believing in yourself. Go out there and show the world what you can do. Go kick some ass and have a good time doing it. I love both of you so much. I love how far you have come on YouTube.
In the summer's embrace, she